we have to create the right vibe, you know, the energy, and everybody at the organization has to feel so privileged to be here. It's no other way.
Thanks for listening to the Purely Arsenal podcast. Please follow us on Twitter at Purely Arsenal FP for all the latest Arsenal podcasts.
Welcome to another edition of a Purely Arsenal sit-down podcast. We're here to review a 2-0 win over Everton to send us 9 points clear with a 7+ goal difference. One game at a time. Neil Shah, how you doing?
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. That's it. Oh God, it's different over here than it is there. Is it Mother's Day? I've got to call my mum. Happy Mother's Day, James. How you doing, James Johnstone?
Yeah, I'm very well. Good to be back. Pleasure to be back with you, Jack, after a little while. And we got old Mystic Neil down there. He said 2-0 with me yesterday. He's clever, this Neil, isn't he? He is.
He knows his stuff. We don't hire just anybody on here. So he knows his stuff. If he gets his prediction in somewhere, even if we didn't do a pod last week, he gets his prediction in somewhere. Fantastic. Did you go scorers on that, or you just went scoreline?
Oh, I messed that up. I said Kai. But it was Kai. So
it's kind of the same position, isn't it? Same position. Yeah, so
exactly.
Look, we had a tough performance in midweek. Obviously, a long way to go. There a lot to do on Tuesday. We'll get to that with the 1-1 draw away at Leverkusen. But line up before this game, I thought there were some disappointing attacking performances in midweek. James, the one question I had going in, and I kind of have the same question going out, is if you're going to start Madueke, which I was fine with, I think you needed to drop Saka. And I wasn't particularly happy with him starting Saka in a unfamiliar position, in my opinion, when you had other more natural left-sided players on the bench. And that would be my one argument looking at the team. And I still think that coming out of the game, I think Saka was lucky to play the amount he did in this game. I thought he was relatively poor once again. In the end, it's not a huge talking point, but going in, I can't deny that was my feeling.
Yeah, no, just spot on. Again, like I said, man down the bottom there. Hopefully it's the same for everybody else on YouTube. It might look stupid if I'm over there and he's up there and everything else.
Top left for me, but it's all good.
I'm going with what's on my screen. So literally before the game, sorry again, I'm plugging it, but we did the podcast together on my channel. And we went through the lineup, didn't we, Neil? I picked mine and we spoke about it. And we all didn't have Saka. Me, Neil and Melvin all didn't have Saka in ours. We all universally agreed. But the thing as well is, and you mentioned on your second bit there, Jack, I literally spoke in the morning about how Mikel, for me, he's learned that this player isn't indispensable anymore. He's gone. If I need to be tactically pragmatic, I can take you off. I can leave you out because there's other people now that can do other things that you're not doing for me. And he regressed again. I'm with you. At how he got a full 90 minutes,
incredible.
I have no idea. And I don't want to turn this into an absolute, we've won 2-0, but let's, kick Saka while he's down podcast, because that's not what we're about. But again, we always take pride in saying what we see and what we believe. And I'm not coming on here and doing a fluff piece for him, because that ain't us either. I'm like, he was diabolical yesterday, and I agree with you. And do you know what else as well, Jack? We said about Timber, and you're better than any of us on this, but I was like, the amount of minutes he's playing, he's going to get a muscular. Said it literally again in the morning. What happens in that game? Boom, muscular injury. Weren't a contact injury for Timber. Boom, muscular injury. And Zubimendi as well. I was like, the guy has played too many minutes. He's knackered. And your Declan Rice and your Eze's game is regressing because they're having to come deep and help him, because teams are like, he's knackered. But also, if we, and again, I sound horrible saying it, but he must be the only Spanish player that I've ever seen that can't play in tight spaces. You really squeeze him in. He can't he can't pass himself out, and he can't spin his way out or, find something. And where he's more tired as well, I don't know if you've noticed, Jack, the last couple of weeks, he is so sideways and safe now, as opposed to at the start of the season. At the start of the season, we're like, this guy's a revelation because he's just going over the top. He's going left, he's going right, but now he'll play a 5-yard pass every single. I haven't seen him make a penetrative pass for ages, and I'm like, what is that? I'm seeing his teammates go nuts at him because they're like, I'm here, Martinelli's or whoever's, they're on and they're like, mate, hello. And so that with the lineup, those were the only real sort of things that I was like, but his subs bailed him out in the end, and I'm sure we'll get onto it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I liked the lineup that you put out, and but I didn't believe Arteta trusted the rotational options, particularly for Timber and for Zubimendi. Well, he's going to have to now on Timber. And I mean, the only good thing there is, we're not at a point where Mascara's out for 8 weeks and Ben White's out. They're both available again, so there are other options. So I wouldn't say I'm less concerned because I love Timber, but it's good that. But you're right on Zubimendi. And the difference with Rice is, although he's played as many minutes, he's been in the league for a long period of time. He knows what it takes to make it through a season like this. His athleticism and his physicality is something that is almost unique about Declan Rice. So I don't want to say he's a unique human being, but if anyone, touch wood, can get there with it, he's the one that maybe you can overburden a little bit more. But Zubimendi, first season in the league, played an excessive amount of minutes, ran the most in the whole team. Like you said, there has to be some serious rotation coming up on that. And he took him off relatively early in this game, and that may have been what changed the game. We'll get to that. But Neil, in terms of the start of the game, Everton had 12 days rest. We've played a lot of games. There's no doubt about it. It's not easy. He's not rotating as much as we like, as James said. We didn't start the game. I think we started the game a little bit on the front foot, but then obviously as the game wore on, 15-20 minutes, Everton started to create some serious chances. And I have to say, despite the fact we started on the front foot, the first thing I remember off the top of my head in the game was a few chances within the space of a couple of minutes to Everton, and one is maybe the block off the season by Calafiori. I don't even know what he does, a flying ninja kick, do you want to call that? Whatever he does, I've never seen anyone celebrate a block like that that early in a game, I don't think. But when you watch it back, it was worth the celebration. But Neil, we looked vulnerable early on, didn't we?
Yeah, we certainly did. We can maybe use the excuse of the number of games and the amount of pressure that's now building upon us, with the expectation that, number one, are they going to throw another title away? And then number two, are they going to be able to fulfil this dream of a quad and all of this kind of stuff going on? And I understand that number of games are coming thick and fast for us. We are on average now playing, with the exception of that 1 week where we had, I think, 6 or 7 days off. Recently, we've been playing, 2-3 games a week at a minimum. And it's not just, as I said, it's not just the physical exertion, it's the mental and emotional exertion on top of that. So there is that. But having said that, the best teams find a way to cope with all of those exertions. They're not paid these monumental amounts of money for nothing. They're big earners, and the expectation is there for them to deliver. And we have been doing it now with this squad that Arteta has built for a while. So they've got that experience, and they should be able to find a way. But we just, to be honest, Jack, we've not been playing well for a long time. I mean, the only exception, I think I was saying it on your pod, James, I'm not sure, but the sense that the Mansfield game for me has been literally the only game recently that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah. The game. Mansfield, that's when we saw some proper football, mainly down to them, to be fair, and give them credit. But every other game has been so kind of, you're thinking, oh, what are we doing? Can we not string a couple of passes together? Can we not keep the ball? Why aren't we progressing, as James said a bit earlier? And this was just no different. The Leverkusen game was bad. This is another example of it. What annoyed me is the game where Gabriel takes a really horrible, ball to his face and chin, and he's literally putting his life on the line for the team. But then the attackers are just inept and bereft of anything. And to be honest, I didn't see anything different with Everton. And then against Everton. And then they're taking control. And if it wasn't for, again, Raya, who made a couple of great saves as well. I think one of them, he did stop in build up to that attack that they had. They hit the post as well, if you remember. I think, was that after the block? And then it almost went in. Almost
straight after it, yeah.
Exactly. So, the threat was there. But look, let's just quickly reflect on what Calafiore did. He was on the floor, bless him. And he's a big lad. So he's probably not the most flexible of players. It's probably harder to be flexible. But the way he gets his leg up, and it's not just about getting your leg up. It's the strength of holding your leg there, because the ball's hit with a little bit of power too. But it was a fantastic block. I mean, no one could. I think maybe the commentary at the time, James, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong here. It might have been Smith was alluding to it being a bit lucky or something. I can't remember initially, but then after that, I think it was recognised that, my goodness me, that is one hell of a block. So the credit has to go out to that or to him to achieve that. But my problem is, we just are not a cohesive team at the moment. We're not a team that looks organised and happy and comfortable in their own skin, so we can avoid these situations. And the attack is certainly not doing their job. So it was a massive concern for me. And I was sitting there throughout the game thinking, oh my God, like you were addressing it when we joined this morning, Jack, before we went live, saying that, oh, it's one of those games again. But yeah, at least we found a way in the end.
Yeah, we're having to dig real deep at the moment, James. Like David Raya, I think first sort of 50, 55 minutes, there's a couple of times where I know the McNeil chance in the first half, I think he just gets way too much space. He gets past Rice so easily. Rice just lets him sort of run past him and whip that shot in. It's just way too much space. I think Inde is actually offside, so that goal wouldn't have counted. But obviously the shot from McNeil is top class. I think the biggest thing with Raya was probably 3 minutes after the second half had started, when I think, is it Beto, or I think had from a corner had a shot, and it's a great save by Raya with his left foot. I want to say that was probably the pick of the bunch from Raya, but not that they had I think they only had 3 shots on target, but they were providing a threat, and because we weren't really, I mean, I remember a couple of chances first half for us, one from a corner that kind of looked like it was looping in from a front post flick, one or two others maybe from shots from distance, but we weren't really looking like scoring, despite the fact dominating sort of the play, which is and it didn't matter that Kai Havertz was good to see Kai Havertz back in. I guess you kind of have to expect a performance or two like this from him, because you need to get his fitness up, but at the same time it wasn't like we were free flowing, was it, James?
No, not at all. Not at all. And yeah, you're right. Until that 88th minute, we're sat there all chatting, and you're thinking, well, David Raya is probably the man of the match of this game. Just purely on the volume of saves, especially that one with his foot was like you said, it was magnificent. Yeah. But you're going on about the volume of chances there, and again, we're all talking to each other through the game, and we've all said someone's got to make one of these count, because that it could be one of those days where we've absolutely pummeled a team here in the first half, but they're going to get one chance, and they're going to score that one chance, and then we're all sat here going, for God's sake, how's this happened again? Because that's all David Moyes wanted to do. David Moyes just wanted to either draw, or he wanted them to score one goal on a counter, on a break, and then shut it up and completely get out of there, having snagged us like that. That was his game plan. And do I blame him for it? No. You look at the two squads compared to ours. both their central defenders, their two first-choice central defenders, were out. Grealish, who's been one of their better players this season, regardless of what you want to think of him, he's been out for ages. So they're not at full strength, and yet they could have easily have snaked a point off us there, or maybe even the 3. And thank God they didn't. But Kai Havertz as well. Like you said, look, was he going to come in instantaneously and become the striker and everything like he was the last couple of? No, he's been out for so long. You said it, Jack, time and time again. The guy nearly had a whole year and a bit out of football. He's not going to come right back in straight away and be the Kai Havertz that we remember and everything. Also, this team, as much as they potentially look better with Kai Havertz in there, they've had Gyökeres for all this time. So they've got to readjust to... They have been playing differently, slightly, because Gyökeres has been in there instead of him. So again, they're two completely different players, and they're getting used to having Kai Havertz back in there again. And also, if I'm jumping the gun, rein me in, but Kai Havertz is very unlucky.
Yeah.
Because that's a penalty. It's a pen.
All day.
And it's a penalty for the point of view of there's 2 instances. So if you're not giving it for him stamping on his foot, which he does do, he pushes him. And I'm sorry
that so quickly. It's incredible.
Well, Kai Havertz ain't a guy that throws himself. He's not a preview. He stays on his. If anything, Kai Havertz is too honest at times, because he backs himself with how strong and everything he is, that, even if I do take a tumble, I can quickly get myself back up again and maybe get the shot off. But there's 2 instances there. Yeah. So even if you're thick enough, which they are thick, we've all got. That's one thing we can confirm for them, that VAR is thick and Pogmo is thick. We don't have to look at monitors to see how thick they are. We know straight away. But I'm like, if you've ignored the whole, foot stamp, it's a push. So you go, okay, well, it's not that. And yeah, I cannot believe it. And even Jamie Redknapp, of all people, was seething. And he went, they've took 3 seconds there. But he went, you in 3 seconds.
I heard Redknapp say that, and fair play.
Yeah, yeah. He was going berserk at it.
Yeah.
And, no. So, yeah, in terms of Havertz there, I thought he was quite unlucky. But, do you know what I mean? You're going to get days where players that are coming back and everything, they're not going to be absolute miracle workers right from the off, unfortunately.
No. And I don't think it worked, Saka playing on the left wing. I've never been convinced that Madueke should be this player that plays on the left wing either, to be honest, though I did think when we first signed him that was going to be that option until sort of Eze was signed, because I think that was an unexpected signing from us. But I didn't like that. I don't think it particularly worked or helped Havertz as such. I would have said the same for Gyökeres, I think. We're naturally inclined to play inverted wingers, and I felt that although the attack needed something different, I didn't think it needed that. I think you could have changed Saka out, you could have changed the striker out and gone, those are the 2 changes for today, and perfect. The one player that I think in the attack does get a bit of credit, Neil, is Eze, to be honest, because in the second half, if a goal was going to come before we made the substitutions, it was going to come through Eze. He had 7 shots in the game, which I think is the most of a Premier League player this season, and a couple of them went really close. I remember a left-footed one just going past the post. I thought it was in. Another right-footed one. On another day, you may be talking about a couple of Eze screamers there, and I liked his intent, I liked his movement. I think on another day we're going away saying this is a very, very good Eze performance based on the fact that one of those just pings in top corner, and I know that's a simple thing to say, but I think a lot of his actions were positive, to be honest, Neil, and I think that's a very good thing from an Arsenal perspective.
Yeah, fantastic going forward. We need that. I think he's got the most, isn't he, for shots outside the box?
He's got.
You were right. Most shots by a player this season in the league, and most outside the box by a player outside the league in a game this season. Yeah.
There you go. So I think it bodes well going forward, because we need that. We have been so guilty of not trying to have a pop at the goal where anything can happen. We discussed it only very recently, Jack. Why don't our players do more of that? So if we have at least got Eze trying to create something where, just have a go. Because the thing is, we were so... for one thing, let me quickly just mention, Madueke, for me, cannot be playing on the left. He's got to be playing on the right-hand side. Do you remember when he did switch to the right, he made that amazing move immediately? The effect is immediate. Madueke, for me, has to be playing on the right.
Then he subbed him, Neil. He subbed him right after it.
Yeah, I was just getting to that. Unbelievable. I mean, of all the players, attacking players to sub, he subs him. I'm sorry, I know you asked me about Eze, but I just want to quickly touch on Saka. He's just not the player that he has been, whether it's because of the injury still, whether there's something else going on, whether it's the weight of carrying the team for 4 or 5 years and it's just overwhelmed him.
It's the weight, Neil. It's the weight.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and as you say, Jack. But I can't comment on things like that, Jack. Come on, Jesus, look at me.
No, you can. You're not paid 350 grand a week. Neil, do it, son. You're not expect you be in the shape that you want, son.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'll let you do that, Jack. It's just so sad. It's just so sad that it feels like we're carrying a luxury player. How could I ever dream in my ever wildest dreams that I'd say that about Saka? But it feels like a luxury player. We're carrying him. We can't afford to carry no one at the moment. 4 competitions on the brink of history, winning the quad and Spurs going down. Come on, we're never going to get a better opportunity. Never. We can't afford to carry that. And I would take him off for Madueke all day long at the moment. All day long. Madueke is just brilliant for me. I've loved him from the start. Have been saying he's the most enterprising player. But Eze, thank God there was someone there on the pitch that was at least trying. It was that curling effort, I think you just alluded to, Jack, wasn't it? That just missed the post. I remember that one. That was a great effort. And I think there was another one as well. And I just felt that, like you said, it could have been a Tottenham day. If it was Tottenham, they would have gone in. Or all his 4 attempts or wherever it was he had would have gone in. But it's just unfortunate. And I think sometimes we do have to look at fine margins. There's many times in football fine margins come into play. Thankfully, it wasn't the case for us yesterday in the end, as we will all inevitably we're going to speak about very, very soon. But for Eze, at least he tried, and we need to see that from all our attackers at the moment. Nothing else is coming from our team apart from that very young prodigy.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there with him. But so I mean, look, it doesn't. We look like, despite the fact having a few chances through Eze, we're not creating enough. And the first change he makes is Gyökeres for Havertz, which I was fine with. I thought Havertz was pretty ineffective despite the penalty shout, but pretty ineffective, and I thought that was a sensible decision. And then to be fair to him, on around the 70th minute ish, he goes for it a bit more. I agree. I wouldn't have taken Madueke off. And by the way, just to preset it, if no one's listened to the podcast, I don't think we've ever been more positive about any player than Bukayo Saka on this podcast. So the fact that we're saying this hopefully holds a little bit more weight. No pun intended. But because we have been that positive. Do you know what I mean? We have, though. But it's so obvious because we are that positive about Saka that when you're watching him, you're like, this is not the same player. And it doesn't really matter what the reason is, does it? It doesn't matter if I think it's because he doesn't fit the mould of a winger anymore, or the injury, or the new contract, or whatever you think it is. It's just that everything's just heightened to the point where everything's so important now, and we can't afford to carry off-form players starting every minute of games. And I do think the giving of the captaincy to him muddies those waters a little bit. I just think it makes it much more difficult to do things like he did in midweek. But I think it does. So I don't love that either. But I agree. I don't know how he stays on the pitch really here. But the fact that he brings on Dalman, he takes off a holding midfielder. He brings on Dalman, puts 2 8s in front of him, and that is Mikel Arteta. I mean, with Arsene Wenger, you just be shrugging your shoulders. But for Mikel Arteta, that is him going for it. You know what I mean? That is him going, I'm going for it here. So fair play to him. And James, it worked because Max Dowman came on and he was, I don't know if of any 16-year-old that's come on with 16 minutes to go and, you know, just walked the man of the match award, but he was the man of the match. He creates the goal, he scores another, most dribbles, you know, I think most times fouled other than Gabriel. He's an absolute menace, the bloke. And I mean, we are dealing with a player here that is just, I don't think we've seen it before at Arsenal in terms of the quality, certainly not in English academy level wise. I mean, I think some people might go, well, says Fabregas, but in terms of like, you know, English academy, I don't think we've seen it anymore. And I think now people, well, other people, maybe not just us Arsenal fans, but other people are starting to realise that, wow, we're dealing with a serious talent here, James.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's unprecedented that, like you said, the talent that this young man possesses, and you know, he's got back-to-back man of the matches at 16 years old in 2 different competitions against, you know, Mansfield, who, okay, they're League One and everything else, but you were looking at that going, that is an absolute dog turd of a pitch that he's playing on against Mansfield the other week. And yet he's still, you know, he's treating it like it's a snooker surface, even though it's an absolute bog that he's playing on. But that don't faze him. He's then coming, like you said, he's coming in cold where everyone else is absolutely well off the boil. And you're looking at it going, there is established international grown men that are not saving this football club in a title race where you can go 10 points clear. You're playing before your closest rival to you plays. And he's just going, yeah, okay, well, whatever. And like you said, he wins the game. He wins us the game. Nothing is happening until we make that substitution, and his inclusion won us the game. And I'm looking at it now, and I know he's 16 years of age, and I know the cliche of if you're old enough, you're good enough. But I'm like, you can't curtail this player now. I think you've got to find a way somehow to shoehorn this boy in, because his talent's too good. And, you know, Wayne Rooney was the big comparison everyone was making yesterday, because everyone remembers Wayne Rooney coming on and scoring against us. And it was an incredible goal. I remember it at the time. I was like, oh, bloody hell, that is a bit special. That is a bit special. But this yesterday, the cross for the first one, I don't know anyone else who makes that cross for us at the moment in that position. I don't know anyone who fancies it. And yeah, does Pickford have a ricket? Of course he does. Of course he does. But it's a fantastic ball. And Hincapié, when he come on as well, you're on mute, mate. Sorry.
Oh, it's a ball he doesn't know whether he should come for, really. It's in between, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm like, he's brave enough to whip it in. He's just brave enough to go direct. And Hincapié, like I said earlier before we started, absolutely love him. He gets an assist off his penis. That's how good he is. You know, he doesn't have to use his feet. He can use his penis because he's such a fantastic footballer. And Gyökeres, again, if that's if that's Jesus, they're not in the box there, Jack. They're not. They're playing wing back probably, and they're not in the box for them to score that goal. That's the thing. We all said we need a striker. And some of us sat here and went, we don't need a striker, we need a goal scorer. And that's the difference. That's the difference. This guy, and I think a lot of people actually undermine his football ability. I think they watch his game and they think, oh, because he's a bit clunky and he's a bit, you know, at times he's not so appealing on the eye as your Havertz is or whatever, that he's a complete write-off. He's not. he's not. He was in the right place at the right time to score his goal. And then Downman's one. First of all, the header from Gyökeres to initially block that corner out, because we all panicked. We all panicked when Everton got that corner so late. But his initial header to clear it out is superb. The one from Martinelli onto Downman for him to go is superb. But what a lot of people I haven't seen speak about, Keenan Dewsbury-Hall for Everton has been one of the signings of the season. He has been superb for them in the midfield. Watch the touch from Downman where he sends him on his arse. That is an elite level touch from a 16-year-old to an established. People are saying that he's one of the best midfielders in the Prem now, Dewsbury Hall. He absolutely sent him on his arse. And then Mykolenko is in that foot race with him and he's fancying it, and he probably could have caught up to him. But Martinelli, he didn't do much when he come on, but Martinelli, the way he run across to put more, he just sort of blocks Mykolenko from going straight into Downman's path. The brain on Martinelli there. And that's why Arteta loves him. That's what, he's always harsh on him. He always digs Martinelli out. But again, the little nuance there to block that run from Martinelli so that he could score was superb as well. Really was, yeah.
Yeah, proper team player.
But yeah, to your initial question, he's just, I don't... Look, we all come through when Fabregas, we all come through when there was Will Shearer and everything as well, but I don't want to go too quick, but I think this kid is up there already.
Yeah, he's going to take over. He's going to take over. It's just a matter of when Arteta thinks he's ready for regular first team minutes, not the quality. I think it's another layer to the Saka conversation, to be honest, because let's be honest, it's the same position. I know a lot of people are saying, Downman's future is in the midfield, but you don't see many young players playing in central midfield in the top level of English football, but you're much more likely to see him out wide, in my opinion, at the early stages. I think that's more realistic. So you have to look at that. And when the quality's this high, I mean, like you said, James, I think that is the big thing that I'm not hearing talked about much. Is a lot of people are thinking this is like an open goal, like Martinelli got away against Villa, for the 4-2. But it's not that. He's done two players, but he's done them so smoothly that everyone's just gone, he's just scored an open goal. But if you watch it, he's the header to knock him away from the first player, and then the cut inside with his weaker foot that looks so smooth that it doesn't even look like he's changed direction. But he's actually sprinting full pace and changed about 50 degrees direction, but he's just still flowing through like it's seamless, like he's ice skating or something, and an elite ice just flowed through. This guy is just, and he's so Neil. The difference with him is it would be different if we had all these wingers firing left, right, but all of our wingers are playing pretty poorly, other than probably Madueke at this point in time. And, you look at him and his attributes are just a breath of fresh air. The fearlessness, the ability to dribble at players and take players on, the type of ball he played there, like James says, that is a dangerous, risky ball, but something with a high possibility of chance, and stuff that we've veered away from, as you saw midweek. I mean, the amount of times we had the ball in that similar position in midweek, and I think the ball ended up with the centre-backs or back to David Raya. And I'm critical of Martinelli and Saka there because it was just unbelievable. But Neil, I mean, he is the youngest ever scorer in the Premier League since James Vaughan, I believe it is. It's not Wayne Rooney, it's James Vaughan of Everton. But the Everton-Arsenal links here are, David Moyes being the manager when Rooney last did it, and all that sort of stuff are quite sort of incredible to read about, I think. But Neil Downman, what else can you say? I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I was saying that when he came on that he's Messi 2.0. I stand corrected. Messi is Downman 2.0. It's the other way around. I'm still going to stick by my statement that I made all those months ago that he is going to become the greatest footballer that we've ever seen live on this planet. I'm not budging. I don't care if people think I'm mad. I really don't give it shite, because that's what I believe, and I'm going to stick by that, and I'll have an egg on my face. I don't care even if it doesn't work out. I think this guy is something very, very extraordinary. He's a generational player. He electrified the attack as soon as he came on. It wasn't a case of, he had a couple of minutes to bed himself in. His first touch, first thing he did was cause the ball to go out for a throw-in. He's doing something positive right from the get-go. We do not have anyone, bar probably Mark Madueke on the right, we don't have anyone in the attack doing this. We have become, again, like I was saying earlier about how it's difficult to watch us, we seem to be negative in the sense that we are playing the ball sideways a lot again. We're going backwards. When you see there's an opportunity as a fan watching, whether you're watching live in the pub or in the home, wherever you're watching the blooming game on your phone, you see an opportunity. You can see it as a fan. Right, there's a space here, or there's a player there. Pass, go forward. No. We've gone reverting back to that kind of almost negative play where we're as you keep saying, guys, we're so cautious, we're too safe. What are we scared of? We score that one goal, we sit back. Daumann is a player that ain't going to sit back. As soon as he comes on, immediately the impact is there. Boom. Move forward, think about progression, going forward, but not just going forward, carrying the ball and really frightening defenders. But it is his confidence, his exuberance, his no fear or his fearlessness that absolutely is incredible. But it's also his ball control. Like Messi, the ball sticks to his feet. Like Messi, the way he destroyed two players there, I would say, because he made it look so easy, like you guys said, it looked like it was an open goal opportunity. It wasn't. It was so much more than that. And Gyökeres, bless him, he's had his critics, but he scored one and he contributed a hell of a lot, as James said, to that second goal, because it was. And I was worried. I said on the WhatsApp, I was using the F word about 15 times over when I was so scared for that corner, because I thought we've just managed to get that position where we got 3 points, and we know how important it is with City playing a couple of hours later or wherever it was. We know how important it is. Is it going to be another twist where they score the last kick of the game with that corner? And thankfully, Gyökeres got us out of that hole. And then rest was just magic between Martinelli and then obviously Daumann. But I just feel that I don't care about age. If you're ready, you're ready. People were telling me, I was on Michael's pod the other day, and bless him, Nick. I mean, he's talked such brilliant stuff. He really knows his stuff, and I tend to understand where he's coming from. But he was kind of saying, no, I think he's got to be more for maybe not even next season, the season after. He's going to be amazing. I said, no, he's ready now. He's ready now. I said definitely next season, but he's ready now. If we need him now, he's fit. Why don't we play him? Because he is could be the instrument or the catalyst to actually get the other players to follow suit. They might be looking at it thinking, we are, as you guys said earlier, a team full of international players, established internationals. We couldn't do anything, but they couldn't do anything between them. All of a sudden, this 16-year-old comes along and shows them how to do it. Well, so what? It doesn't matter. Let him come and show everyone else how to do it, because we need that. We're in 4 competitions. We need everyone we've got. We have to stretch the squad, use everyone, utilise everyone to their strengths. Daumann is a strength in that position, and he can create something for us. He's going to scare many defences, not just Everton, not just Mansfield. He is going to scare the life out of so many defences, and he is ready. The only thing I would suggest is don't let him be part of the England squad. And I'm talking because look what happened to Theo. But I think he is a very, very different person. And I'm going to say it. For me, he's even better than Fabregas. This guy is extraordinary. It's something that we don't see often. We're probably blessed, James, Jack, in our lifetimes to see a player like this. Trust me, he's going to be the greatest player that ever lived.
You're on mute again, mate. You're on mute.
Sorry, I've done it twice. Sorry, guys, because I'm coughing in between. I can't top that. But I'll try. I mean, some of the celebrations are great, aren't they? Gyökeres scoring in him. You could tell how excited Daumann was for making an impact there. And like you said, James, brilliant impact by Gyökeres too. Right place, right time. And the one thing I will say for Gyökeres is I always questioned I always thought, if he starts becoming a bit more of a sub at times, will he be he's been very good off the bench when he's come on. At times he scored. I remember, was it Brighton at home when he came on, and or was it Sunderland at home and scored the third or something? But he's done quite well from the bench at times this season, which is impressive. It shows that he's happy to play that role as well, which is important for a striker to be able to do it. But then I love Matt. Yeah, I love that, and the speed that he's going beyond the defenders, Matt Dowman as well is. And he doesn't really look like he's running fast. He doesn't look like he's sprinting, which is odd. He just looks like he's sort of playing around like he does when he runs to the corner flag and kicks it, and no one can catch him there.
And has time to adjust his shorts as well.
Yeah, he just looks like everything just flows through it. He just looks like it's all just coming off the show, like just off the cuff stuff, like that fearlessness. And our attack so needs that stuff. Everything's too safe, too risk averse, and I just think we really need it now. How we get him I don't expect him to start in midweek necessarily, but he's got to be looking at it going, you are now an option. You are now an option. Like, if we need something different in the attack, I am no longer looking and going, well, can I put you in here? I'm now going, you're an option, just like everybody else. Are you the right option for this moment? And, obviously we're quite impacted over there on the right side, but I don't think it's really going to make a difference for him. He's providing something so different to what these other players are that I just think I have to believe that he's going to get more minutes this season. He's definitely going to get more minutes. I mean, it might be 15-minute spurts like he got today. And that's fine. I mean, that's brilliant for him. But, he's got to. He's got to, because there is a clear need for it in our attack. It's not like, we've got Henry, Perez and Lumbo, and then you've got him and you're going, we can just sit him for another 12 months. It's not. He's ready. And our attackers aren't doing it. So, those things hand in hand, don't they? Really?
At the minimum, he's got to be on the bench for most of the games, the rest of the games this season.
Yeah, you can't remove him from squads now.
No,
exactly.
No,
you can't remove whereas if Odegaard was fit today, and one or two others, you might have said, we'll take a Marino. You take Dowman out of the squad. I just don't see how that would be possible anymore in this season after even just what he's just done there, because you're just looking at it, it's so unique what he's providing. You've got to say, you're there, mate. If we need you, you are my go-to at this point. You're going to be one of my go-tos.
And sometimes that they have these like really important academy games, and he still sometimes is in them squads, and he still sometimes plays in those.
Yeah,
he is now fully established first team player.
Yeah,
I'm like, the work that he's done on himself since he's been out, you can clearly see that he's stronger. His body physically, we were talking about Saka's body earlier. He's improved. He has improved his physique, not to a point that is detrimental to what he's trying to do. But he can't drink. Thank God. He can't drive. He can't smoke. And he can't play the lottery anymore. I didn't know the lottery was 18 now in this country, not 16 anymore. But he can't buy a lottery ticket, but he has punched a ticket to potentially winning Arsenal the Premier. This will be talked about forever if we go on to win the league, which I think we will now. I've said for a long time I'll wait and see, but I think we're in a good position now where we're looking good to win it. He has put himself in Arsenal folklore at 16 years of age.
Can't even give interviews yet, can he? Can't even do that.
Sorry?
Can't even give interviews yet.
No, exactly.
Is there? I don't know the ruling on that. Is there a age limit on that? Or restriction on that?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, but it's incredible. It's incredible, and we all sat here and said for weeks, someone in this attack has got to come in here, make himself known, and bang. That was the phrase. Someone here's got to bang, and they've got to explode because they're not doing it. And we all, maybe you did, and if you did, fair play. But I don't think any of us really looked at it and went, it'd be Dowman, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But again, all season, and Neil, you say it all the time, the most exciting has been Madueke and him. And that was even pre-season.
Dan was our best player in pre-season.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't even starting then. He was our best player.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember the game against Newcastle in pre-season?
Yeah.
Like, he was running rings around Jollington and Bruno Gamira. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Joe Linton elbowed him in the face because he couldn't handle it.
Didn't he win 1 or 2 penalties in the game or something? It was just mental. It was mental.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up getting assaulted because a player he nutmegged him.
That's another thing about him. He can take the hits and respond stronger from it. You know, he's so dynamic, and we lack so much dynamism in our front, specifically on the wide areas. You know, it's either been drawn out of them, the players have lost it, and so he's just a breath of fresh air. And
sorry, John. Sorry, no.
No, go ahead now. Yeah.
I was going to say, wasn't it one of the Champions League games that he played in that he was getting targeted as well because he was just so skillful? And I think that's the thing. And even for that second goal that he scored, he brushed the player tried to grab him and he didn't. He just brushed him off like he wasn't there. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it's just the strength. But you know what? Just the other thing which made me laugh about the later kickoff from our rivals. The fact that it was an ex-Arsenal player that scores the goal and ends up man of the match. You could not have scripted yesterday, or for you, Jack, today, any better. You know, Mavropoulos, I was calling him Mavro. I mean, I actually liked him when he first joined us, but the fact that he is a man of the match stopped City from getting the 3 points and
some of his blocks. Did you see some of his blocks?
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is just been like it's just been scripted to have one of the best days ever.
Yeah.
And I agree with James. This Diamond moment will go down in folklore. It's going to be remembered forever. I think so. I really believe that. I mean, and it's just meant to be. It's just meant to be. I know you can't take anything for granted. I know a lot still can happen. There's still a long way to go. We've got 7 games left, have we not? We've got 7 games left and a lot can happen. But my goodness me, I don't think in this day and age, the way there are more than... Because typically when we were winning leagues under Wenger, it was really only 2 rivals, wasn't it? It was 1 or 2 teams in the race. Now we've got situations where there could be more. I know it's only probably 2 this season as well, but generally in recent times there might have been 2, 3 or maybe even 4 that could have a say. So this is a great opportunity for us. We've got to take it with both hands. We're not going to get a better opportunity, and we've got to take it. And yes, I'm still going to be with the adage of, look, 1 game at a time, but you can't help but start feeling a bit excited, especially after them dropping another 2 points. You know, at the very minimum now, we are 6 points ahead of them, whatever happens.
We're a 7+ goal difference.
And the goal difference. And to be honest, 6 points now when they are essentially, they were only 2 weeks ago knocking on our door where everyone was saying, well, it's in their hands
2
now.
points,
because,
points.
If they beat Arsenal, then it's their hands now. And everyone was giving all that narrative. Well, look how quickly it's changed again. We have to make sure that we take advantage of that. And oh man, it's just an exciting time. And this is all with, as Michael was brilliantly saying, an attack which has been so inept. And look at the position we're in. We're in a strong position for the quad, with a strong position for winning the league, and yet we haven't really had a firing attack. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
What I like as well is I said we need to go there with a buffer. We've got that. In not just points, but in goal difference, but also for the remainder of the season, I believe we're on before them each time. So we have the chance. We have the chance to lay the marker and go to them. You've got to match that, and I think that suits us. I know. Before I've always said we're better at being the hunter than the hunted, but I think this season, actually, for a change, us going, no, you match our results, helps us a lot. I really do. And I don't know how true it was, but I saw something on Twitter today and I didn't really fact check it. But their rescheduled game with Palace could be before our game against them. It could be somewhere in the midweek. And if they drop the points to Chelsea, they drop the points to Palace in that rescheduled game, and we beat Bournemouth, I think that puts us 12 clear, potentially. And then if we beat them at the Etihad, that puts us 15 clear, and they can't catch us then. So we go and win a title at another ground.
Oh, please. Please.
Do you know what I mean?
The song will change. The song will change.
Well, I'm like, we've got the Emirates, haven't we? We've got Liverpool 89, we got 71 WHL, 04 WH, Stamford Bridge, Old Trafford. I'm like, please, football gods, if you can.
Yes. And then go down as well. We can add that into the song as a little, you know.
Can the David Brent inspired Chelsea get us something? Can a Glasner that don't want to be there anymore get us something? Because I'm like, if we win the league at the Etihad, I'm unbearable now.
I can't look. I don't know how you look this far ahead. My barely just started thinking about Tuesday.
No, I know. But I was getting giddy, mate. I was looking at it. I was in euphoria. I put on. It's one of my. I think it's my most liked tweet of all time, where I said, "Has anyone got the Dowman go over the Titanic music yet?" I don't think I've had. They
found it for you, didn't they? They found it for you.
I know. It had to be done, Jack. I was like, "Who's done the edit? Where is it? Where is it?"
There's always someone doing it in there. There's someone working on it straight away. It's hilarious. Some of the celebrations are fantastic. After the second one, feels like one of those ones again that you were like, imagine being there. You see the crowd moving, all flowing together in unison. It looked like a magic moment, didn't it? And hopefully it leads to something really special. So just brilliant to see Arteta's celebration, the bench, run on the pitch again, the crowd, obviously, all that sort of stuff, just fantastic, isn't it?
And Belson Skelly as well. You could see him was in Montreal. He was in there and he was really happy. I mean, every single person that was on the bench were already running. They were already in motion even before the ball was in the net. And, just to see that elation from every single one that was so happy for this kid, it goes to show that they are really nurturing and mentoring him in the right way. But they were so ecstatic for him. And I think especially Rice. I think Rice has been the one that's been tasked with really mentoring him. I think he's almost like the father figure for him, or the older brother. In that squad, I think Rice is that guy, and the hug and the embrace that he gave him. But all of them, I mean, Arteta straight away runs to Kai, doesn't he, and gives him the biggest hug. But they were so in unison, as you said, Jack, so happy for him, and I think that's a massive telltale sign that even the players that are not even getting much of a chance are so in sync with what we're trying to achieve this season. This is why I think it really is truly a squad. If we do achieve what we want to achieve, it will be such a squad achievement, let alone, picking out a few individuals, because it's not just what we see on the pitch, it's about how they're all supporting each other off the pitch as well. And I think that is a massive, massive thing that's happening in our club. And that is a very important ingredient to title success as well. Yeah. So it's just got to play a little bit more for the fans. At least. I don't care how we win it now. It doesn't matter the type of football, but just to give the fans a little bit of not so much tension, because I'm sure you two were as tense as I was yesterday up to Darwin before Darwin came on. Just one game one game where we can just go there and watch us flatten a team, to obliterate them, or at least be in command and control with ease. Hopefully that will be the one at the Etihad. That's the one where we'll do it.
Yeah.
Neil makes a great point there with Rice and him. I don't know if you've seen the clips, Neil. Everyone kept sharing it last night. But there was an interview that he gave earlier in the season, and he was asked about Dowman in the interview. And he said that Jack Wilshere, and he went, I had a good relationship with him from England, but also from when he was at West Ham for a little bit. And he said Jack Wilshere called him and went, I've got a boy who's 14 years old. You need to come. And he said he watched him and went, blimey. And he said, yeah. And he went to Mikel even and said, you've got to watch this kid who's 14 that I know you've got tabs. And he went, ever since then, he's been with it. He went, yeah, I'll ring him every, most weeks. And we speak and everything. And he said, yeah, but he went, he's unbelievable. He said, I've never, and he went, I come through some great, because he was part of Chelsea's academy, which, where they've been oil pumped and everything else, they've had the best academy probably in England for a long time, Chelsea. You look at the amount of players that have left Chelsea's academy and they're all playing for clubs now and everything. They've had an absolute, progression chain from that club and he said, from what I've seen, he's better than even all of them. He's unbelievable. And the celebrations, the other one that I loved was just after he gets past the halfway line, is Gyökeres he's running like that, isn't he? The whole time, his arms are just in the air like that. That was making me laugh because it was obvious he was going to tuck it in. But he went well early as well. And just the whole majority of the bench to mob him like that.
So good.
Yeah. Madueke doing a knee slide.
Yeah. It's just amazing.
It's just so good. You could be upset coming off for a 16-year-old, but you're not. It's just some maturity there as well.
Just go rewinding back to the first goal with Giga. Did you notice the way Downman came and grabs him from behind, and he was all straggling him? And I think Gigris was like, "Get off me!"
Yeah, it was the same when Odegaard done it at Spurs.
Oh,
he was like, "You're strangling me." He was like, "Get off my neck!"
Yeah.
The poor guy's like, Jesus.
Proper went for him, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was like,
that's pure elation right now.
Brilliant.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant result. City result, fantastic. We got a massive week ahead. So now we've got to do predictions for Leverkusen in midweek on Tuesday, and then the cup final on Sunday, I believe. Some massive predictions there. Neil, go ahead.
Forgot about the cup final. We were so excited about this game. Wow. Well, the cup final would definitely to start with that. That's so pivotal. It's so important. It's probably the most important League Cup final that I can remember, especially for us. Firstly, not because we don't get to many, but I think this is pivotal. I think it's massive to lay a statement or a marker, especially because it's against City. I don't think it's just a case of we can dismiss it because it's probably the least recognised of the quartet. It's nothing to do with that. It's about the statement and how monumental and pivotal this moment could be. We have to win it. I think we've really got to drive the players for the rest of the season, which is going to be ending very, very soon. As time goes so fast. So, firstly, the Leverkusen. Well, we've got no choice. We've got to win it. It's 1-1. There's no away goal rule or anything like that anymore. So it's a win, and I'm going to go 2-0 again. 2-0, and I don't think he'll start, so I won't say him. I'm going to go 2-0 Madueke, Leverkusen. And the final, solid. I'm going to say 3-1 Doberman. You're on mute.
I'll take that, Neil. Sorry. James, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to copy Neil's 2-0 for midweek. And I will go with, let's say, Eze for that one. And then Sunday, I'm going to say Arsenal to win 2-1. But in terms of scorer, I think it's going to be someone that people don't expect. So, like that semi-final when Monreal scored against them and then Sanchez scored in extra time. I think it's going to be someone random. Like how Calafiori absolutely shanked one against them in the league the other year. I think it's someone that everyone's going to go, bloody hell. First of all, what's he doing up there? And how's he done that? It might be, if he's fit, Yeah. Oh, I'd love it. But how like Timber's always in the box and you're like, what you doing here, mate? It'd be someone like him. It would be someone completely random. But ideally, and I know it's going to annoy people, I'd love to score from a set piece against them. I'd love to score from a corner and win 1-0, ideally, just to boil more piss. Because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Like I was sharing last night with the Dowman and the John Obi Mikel thing. And I'm like, yeah, you're one goal, John Obi Mikel. Header from a corner, mate. So, keep it stum, son. All of it. I'm like, all of them
needs medical help. I don't know what he's doing.
They've all seen the MO, mate. They're like, talk about Arsenal. My subscribers go up, my clips go up, and my money goes up. And it's just like, because they're all sat there like, oh, I don't care about Arsenal. I'm like, yeah, but you've posted 7 videos in your feed about them in the last week. So I'm like, you clearly do.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just clickbait nonsense, isn't it? So you went 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, we had Liverpool streamers yesterday trying to cheer Everton to beat us.
Oh yeah, I saw that. They were devastated. Everton weren't winning.
Yeah.
I mean, we live rent free in their heads all day long, don't we? It's a mental.
But yeah, no, two wins, and I agree with Neil. That cup win will be humongous. Because this group needs to win something together. Yeah. And winning breeds winning. I've always said, look, it was good enough for the other managers. They always won that first, and they won everything else.
Yeah, it feels big for, maybe even bigger for City now, considering their recent results in the league and Champions League. So then,
yeah, and he can't play, so there's that in there as well.
There's that. He missed us absolute sitter in the last minute today. Did you see it? It was glorious. It was. Absolutely glorious. Mavropanos blocks it first, and then he's about a yard out, balloons it a million miles over the bar. It might have even reached that track and field stand. It went that far over the bar.
Wenger does it again.
Yeah, he was immense. He's very good from corners, Mavropanos. He scored once at the Emirates to win. It was an unbelievable header, if you remember it as well. It was similar this time, but he's actually very good aerially, Mavropanos. Yeah,
they're selling that ball from Guehi in Forever 21 now because it landed in Forever 21. So
yeah, over in the Westfield. Yeah, that's hilarious. I'll go. Yeah, definitely worried about legs in midweek because we're going to have to find some, But I'll go 2-1 Arsenal Gyökeres midweek, and because I do think he'll start, and I'll go 1-0 Arsenal against Man City. Zubimendi. I'll go Zubimendi. Yeah. I'll go with that. I'll take any of our results. Boys, it's been a pleasure. Brilliant weekend for Arsenal. We haven't even watched Tottenham yet. It's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, it's already a brilliant weekend, and we're still waiting for the comedy show, which is fantastic, which is brilliant. Either way, they're playing Liverpool, so they don't even know what they're doing. It's fantastic. It's just going to be, it's brilliant. Hopefully Forest get something against Fulham. Hopefully. Because that could change everything there. It's exciting down there, isn't it? Very exciting. But yeah, boys, brilliant to chat. Hour and 1 minute. Not bad. We're at Purely Arsenal FP on Twitter, at Purely Arsenal on YouTube. Please subscribe there. Apologies for my voice. James, Neil, it's been a pleasure. Up the Arsenal, 7 games to go for Arsenal in the Premier League, but a lot more elsewhere. Fingers crossed this week. Keep the faith. Up the Arsenal. Thank you, boys.